Hi, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Well, I am still healing and recovering from a concussion and a head injury and black eye. So, they are no joke, and it's been quite the journey. At any rate, I wanted to put out a quick video, and I wanted to talk about how narcissists use funerals to their advantage. And my acting colleagues will get the humor in that because I actually did a commercial for Funeral Advantage, and it's being rerun right now during the pandemic because it fits the narrative. Anyway, you can check my reel for that. It's the little clip at the end where I say, "Don't wait, call now." At any rate, narcissists use funerals to their advantage, and I thought of and have experienced a few ways that they do this. One way is they will use it as an excuse. If you were to tell somebody, "Oh, hey, I can't make it to go here or do this with you," or what have you, because someone died and I had to go to a funeral. Most people aren't going to question that, especially if they have empathy. They're not going to even question it. If anything, they might feel sad or feel shocked or express their condolences to you and maybe even offer to serve you in some kind of capacity. Narcissists will use funerals as excuses. If they are ghosting you or securing another source of supply, or maybe even trying to string you along or keep you off kilter, they will use funerals as an excuse. Maybe they have made some claims about themselves or presented themselves as being more than they really are, and they're trying to hide their true identity and hide what they're about. So a funeral is one of those excuses that most people aren't going to question. And not only that, but they're not going to do any real digging like, okay, what's the name of the funeral home? Do you have a death certificate? And do you have a couple witnesses that can sign a paper that can verify that somebody actually died? Just something to be aware of. The second way that I thought of is that narcissists will use the actual funeral event as a way to get close to maybe a source of supply or a former source of supply and to do a hoover. And I've seen this up close and personal when my grandmother died, and my mother and my dad both attended the funeral, even though my mother had separated from my father. At any rate, after the funeral was over, as most people do, we all gathered for a repast and also went to my aunt's house just to hang out with close family members. And during that time, as we were walking from one event to another, my dad was just right there at my mom's side, playing couple, trying to hold her hand, and giving off the appearance that they were still together, or maybe that there was some kind of possibility of them reconciling. I think feeding into the emotional aspects of the moment. And boy, I did not like that at all. And I talked to my mom about that later, but I saw right through it. Even as a younger woman, I saw through it. And even not knowing about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, I didn't know that that was hoovering. I didn't know that there was a terminology associated with that. But I saw right through it. And not only that, but my mom had moved into a new place, and he kept trying to push and push and pressure her into letting him see her new place. Hey, can I see your new apartment? I want to see your place, and all this other kind of stuff. Meanwhile, he was bouncing around to different homes and staying with different friends and family and struggling out in California trying to start his new life as a separated man. Anyway, narcissists will use funerals as an opportunity to hoover current or former supply. The third way that I thought of that narcissists will use funerals is to garner attention, praise, adoration, to draw supply that way. I touched on this before in a previous video about when the narcissist dies and some of the emotional and logistical aspects I've spoken about before around narcissists and death and funerals. And the example that I thought of to share is my grandmother. She had planned her funeral. She paid for everything in full. She had her will all written out. She had a specific person that she wanted to handle her funeral arrangements, and everything was taken care of so that no one had to do a thing. Which, on the one hand, great, because funerals can be expensive and it can be time consuming and draining energetically just to plan and put everything together. Now, that being said, she did this decades before she actually passed away. She probably lived a good 20, 30 years until her death with her funeral already planned and taken care of. So she would make comments like, well, you know, if the Lord let me live another day, I guess I'll see you. I guess I'll see you next time, or when you come back through here, or if the Lord let me live. Just every time, every conversation consistently. And just, it's that whole idea of just getting people to offer up praise, or, oh no, like, oh, we love you, and oh, you're great, and oh, and to fawn over you, and that whole thing. Anyway, narcissists will use funerals as a way to draw supply even prior to their death in terms of talking about it, because it really stirs your emotions, doesn't it, when someone suggests that they may not be here anymore, or that, you know, you may have to go on and live your life without them. And if they do it in a way that sounds somber, or that sounds like maybe they are close to death's door but secretly they're not, they've got a ways to go before they get there, it can really tug on your heartstrings and get you to start giving them their flowers. But then if you're doing that on a daily basis, it's like, okay, wait a second. Like, didn't you say that yesterday or last week, that you, like, if the Lord lets you live, and if you're going to be here, and sounding really, you know, like, I'm right here at death's door. I've got one foot in the grave. Anyway, those are three things that I thought of, ways that narcissists will use funerals to their advantage. Maybe you can think of some others. Comment below. I'd love to hear yours. In the meantime, narcissists will use funerals, which are a very serious topic and a very serious time, in one way or another, to their advantage. And it's certainly not a laughing matter. And it can definitely bring up a lot of emotions and tug on your heartstrings. But know that a lot of times with narcissists, there's an ulterior motive, even surrounding funerals. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.